You never forget the look in someone's eyes when they're humiliated in front of a crowd. I remember that day like it happened just minutes ago. I was standing in the corner of the cafeteria, tray in hand, when I saw it all unfold. And believe me, it's the kind of moment that stays etched in your soul because you realize just how cruel people can be and how powerful someone's courage can become. Stick with me until the end, because what happened 20 minutes later changed everything and left a lesson none of us in that school could ever erase. Her name was Lily. She was quiet, sweet, and moved through the halls in her wheelchair with a kind of soft dignity most of us took for granted. She never demanded attention, never tried to make herself the center of anything. But sometimes, in high school, kindness and quietness are seen as weakness. And predators always hunt where they think there's no threat. That day in the cafeteria, the bullies. 3 boys with the kind of arrogance only teenage immaturity can give decided to make Lily their target. They waited until she rolled her wheelchair through the middle of the lunchroom, and then, with sneers stretching across their faces, one of them grabbed a carton of juice. Before anyone could react, he tipped it straight over her head. The cafeteria gasped, but no one moved. The orange juice soaked through Lily's sweater, dripping down her chair, staining her tray of food. Her hands trembled as she tried to wipe her face with the corner of her sleeve, but the boys laughed louder, clapping each other on the back like they had just won a trophy. For them, it was nothing more than a joke. For Lily, it was the kind of public humiliation that crushes a soul. I saw her eyes lower, her cheeks flush, and I swear for a moment it felt like time stopped. Nobody stepped forward, not the teachers, not the students, just silence and nervous giggles that made the cruelty sting even more. That's when I noticed another set of eyes in the cafeteria, burning like fire. Keisha. Keisha was new. A tall black girl with strength in her walk and an edge in her gaze that warned you not to test her. She transferred from another school only a few weeks before, and most people didn't know much about her. But I had seen her in gym class, strong, fast, and calm under pressure. What nobody knew then was that her father, a retired Marine, had taught her discipline, combat skills, and something even greater, the courage to stand when others sit in silence. Keisha stood up so fast her chair clattered behind her. The cafeteria shifted, sensing something was about to happen. She walked across the room with purpose, her eyes never leaving the 3 bullies who were still snickering like hyenas circling prey. She didn't shout. She didn't run. She simply moved with the kind of presence that made everyone else freeze. The first bully sneered, "What are you gonna do? Cry for her?" He shoved her shoulder. That was his mistake. In one swift move, Keisha twisted his wrist, and the sound of his yelp silenced the entire cafeteria. She didn't hurt him badly, but she made sure he felt every ounce of the warning she had given earlier. She released him, and he stumbled back, holding his arm, shock replacing his grin. The second one tried to swing, but Keisha ducked, pivoted, and used his momentum to push him against the table, knocking the wind out of him. She didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She simply stood over him, her voice low and steady. "This is what happens when you prey on someone weaker than you." The third froze. He didn't even try. He backed away, his bravado melting into fear. For the first time, the bullies weren't the predators, they were the ones exposed. And here's the moment none of us will ever forget. Keisha didn't chase them. She didn't beat them senseless. She simply straightened her shirt, stood tall, and declared loud enough for everyone to hear, "Strength isn't about hurting people, it's about protecting them. Remember that." The cafeteria erupted, not in laughter, but in cheers. Students who had once stayed silent found their voices. Teachers rushed in, too late to stop what had already happened, but not too late to see who had truly been the hero of the day. Later, I found Lily sitting outside near the courtyard, her eyes red but a smile trembling at the corners of her lips. Keisha knelt beside her and said gently, "Don't ever let their cruelty define you. You're stronger than they'll ever understand." And Lily, for the first time in a long time, lifted her chin with pride. That day taught me something. Bullies thrive in silence, but courage, real courage, creates a ripple that silences them forever. So here I am, years later, telling you this story because it didn't just change Lily. It changed me. It changed everyone who witnessed it. And now I'll leave you with this: if you ever see someone being treated unfairly, don't look away. Don't stay silent. Be the voice. Be the action. Be the Keisha in someone's story. If this story moved you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that kindness and courage are stronger than cruelty. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever witnessed a moment where someone stood up to a bully? I want to hear your story too. Because together, our stories can become someone else's strength.